Chair recognizes that the Lenore County Board of Education has established a quorum and calls the February 5th, 2024 regular monthly meeting to order. Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Let us pray. May the words spoken in this room tonight be beneficial to the students, parents, staff, and administrators in our school system. And may we be led by the guiding principle to always base our decisions on the best interest of our young people. Amen.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Chair recognizes Mrs. Mary Alton, Lenore County Clerk of Superior Court, to administer the oath of office to new board member, Mr. John Williams.
John James Williams, do solemnly affirm that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of the state of North Carolina,
of the state of North Carolina,
not inconsistent within,
not inconsistent with them,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
my duties as member
as duties as member
of the North County Board of Education.
of the Lenore County Board of Education.
That is my solemn affirmation.
That is my solemn affirmation.
Thank you, Mrs. Alton, and congratulations and welcome as a member of the Lenore County Board of Education, Mr. Wiggins. We thank you for your interest in and willingness to serve the students of Lenore County. Chair recognizes Mr. Brent Williams to present the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, it's my honor and privilege to present to you, the members of the board, for your consideration and hopefully your approval, tonight's agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the agenda?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Anderson.
I move to accept the agenda as prepared.
Motion by Mr. Anderson. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Outlaw Starkey. We have a motion by Mr. Anderson and a second by Dr. Outlaw Starkey to approve the board agenda as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. The agenda is set for tonight's meeting. Okay. So at this time, we normally recognize our elected officials. And I do see, well, I've had a couple of our elected officials tonight. So we'd like to welcome Mr. Preston Harrison, County Commissioner. Thank you for being with us. And for the first time, we're going to welcome Mr. Keith King as a County Commissioner and not as a board member. Thank you, Mr. King, for being with us. Have I used anybody?
Sure.
Jackie Rogers.
Sheriff.
Sheriff Jackie Rogers.
Oh, yes, excuse me. And I see our sheriff is with us tonight. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Anybody else now?
Miss Barbara Sutton.
Who?
She's still here. NAACP, Miss Barbara Sutton.
Okay. Excuse me. Who? Nobody else? Elected officials, okay. Are there any other, we have a pretty good sized crowd tonight. So is there any other elected officials that from this vantage point I can't see? Okay, thank you then. And again, we do welcome Mr. Harris and Mr. King. Also, let me welcome Mr. Adam Mitchell tonight. He is will be presiding as our legal counsel and parliamentarian. First of all, before I get into any comments, we do have something we'd like to do. As you are aware, Mr. Keith King, as I just mentioned, resigned his seat on the Lenore County Board of Education to fill a vacancy on the Lenore County Board of Commissioners. We would like to thank Mr. King for his years of service to the students of Lenore County Public Schools and to the Lenore County Board of Education. We appreciate his dedication to putting students first and helping make all students of Lenore County Public School System to be as successful as possible. Tonight, we'd like to present Mr. King with a plaque recognizing his years of service. Mr. King, if you'll come forward. Okay.
I'd like to say Mr. King has served with distinction. He was a very engaged board member, would always pick up the phone and would always make the call, always engaged out at our school events, a heart and passion for children, and just always for doing the right thing. And talking to him, the consistent question would always be, well, are we doing what we said we were going to do? Are we doing the right thing? So that I appreciate about you, sir, and I salute you, and the commissioners are lucky to have you.
And so I'd like to read, presented to Keith King in grateful appreciation of his years of dedicated service to the Lenore County Board of Education, February 5th, 2024. Mr. King, would you like an opportunity to say anything?
Just a little. It was not an easy decision to leave this board. I was on this board for 9 years, and it was tough, but I was asked to serve in a different capacity, and so I did. And I'm going to call him Coach Wiggins tonight, because he's Coach Wiggins to me. I congratulate you. I know you're going to do a great job, and the folks in District 2, no problem. He's going to do a wonderful job for you. Just a couple things. I remember, 9 years ago, a little over 9 years ago, David Filippelli was standing here. He was the District 2 rep for the school board before me. And I remember David saying, one of his last things, he said, I served on this board for 12 years, and I had perfect attendance. Well, up until about 2 months shy of 9 years, I had perfect attendance. So we were 21 years total for District 2 for perfect attendance. And I was very proud of that for David and myself.
No pressure.
And I did become ill in September, and I felt bad. I did not feel it was fair to the others here in the room and our audience to come in sick, so I stayed home. But I just appreciate everything. Jesse, you've done everything for this board. You schedule committees, you schedule our travel, you make sure we get paid for our mileage a day. Thank you. We all know who runs the LCPS, but we all know. She's great. And the leadership team here, Superintendent Williams, Mrs. Herring, Mr. Hardy, some of the finest folks I've ever met. I would do anything for you anytime. I think everyone here knows I'm going to be your biggest advocate. No offense, Mr. Harris, Commissioner Harris, but I'm going to be your biggest advocate for the school system as we move forward. And I just thank all of you. This LCPS treated me like a family member from day one, and I hope they will continue to treat me the same. I can't thank you enough, and the staff from superintendent all the way across the county has been absolutely wonderful to me and very welcoming, and I just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
I'm not going anywhere. Please invite me to your event. I'm going to come if I can, I promise. I promise. So thank you very much.
Oh, he's gonna leave, because I was gonna give these other people up here at this table an opportunity to say something if they'd like.
That's all right.
Would anyone like to address Mr. King? We can always call him back. Okay. All right, thank you. We want to continue to thank all Lenore County Public School employees for their outstanding dedication, commitment, and hard work to ensure that all Lenore County Public School students are as successful as possible. We want to continue to commit to providing a safe and healthy environment for all students, employees, and our community. February is National Black History Month. Mrs. Frances Herring will provide a preview of the activities of celebration planned in the Lenore County Public Schools. February is also Career and Technical Education Month. Ms. Amy Jones, staff, and students will present a showcase of the many programs offered through the Lenore County Public Schools. And as always, Mr. Williams will share some more good news about Lenore County Public School students and staff. And with that, Chair recognizes Mr. Briggs Williams to present the following honors, recognitions, and accomplishments.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As the chair noted, we will be providing a preview tonight of the celebrations that are taking place in our schools and the instructional celebrations of National Black History Month in our schools. And then at next month's meeting, we will give you a roundup perspective of those activities and speakers and projects and other events. Our Career and Technical Education Month is February. As we noted, you'll get a taste of that tonight. I want to welcome all the students who are here and the parents who are here and loved ones of these young people that we care so much about. And you're going to get a real treat tonight because you're going to see firsthand the wonderful and amazing things that are happening in our CTE classrooms and beyond. Our CTE programs are doing a wonderful job not only of preparing a well-qualified workforce, which is their primary mission, but also in really doing our school system's primary mission, preparing our students for the best and most prosperous future possible. So we celebrate our CTE programs. Governor Cooper has designated February as Love the Bus Month across North Carolina. It's a celebration of school transportation. And it's also next week will be Bus Driver Appreciation Week in North Carolina. And during this whole month, we celebrate, and really throughout the year, I hope that we thank those hardworking drivers who are up on those buses early in the mornings and driving those routes with our young people. They're the first to see our young people in the mornings and the last to see them in the afternoons when they drop them off. But they work hard, they do a great job for us, and let us say an extra statement of gratitude to our bus drivers during this North Carolina Bus Driver Appreciation Week next week, and Love the Bus Month all month long. We are doing really well with our grants in Lenore County Public Schools. Our teachers are knocking it out of the park. We are swinging for the trees and we're hitting home runs, and I'm so proud of that and proud to share that with you. Our CTE department, and how perfect that we can share a couple of CTE grants with you that have just come in the last few days. But the CTE department has won one of the CTE home building grants from North Carolina. A state level grant for $39,975. You know, we have construction technology at South Lenore High School and they're building the house there. We were one of 10 districts from across the state to win this grant. The funds will be used to purchase equipment and consumable materials for carpentry and masonry programs at Kinston High School, North Lenore High School, and South Lenore High School, all three of our traditional high schools. LCPSNC program also received a CTE Modernization and Expansion Program grant in the amount of $89,300. This grant provides for modernization of CTE equipment, programming, materials, training, professional development for courses conducted in grades 6 through 12. The grant will be used to purchase online curriculum resources to support all CTE programs. LCPS was one of 34 out of the 115 school systems to receive a grant in some amount from this program. Also, a non-CTE grant that I want to highlight, a robotics grant. As you know, we've been the recipient 2 out of the last 4 years from NCDPI's coding grant for coding in LCPS? Well, we've now won a robotics grant. LCPS has won the competitive robotics grant for North Carolina from NCDPI in the amount of $33,895. We just got that information late Friday afternoon. The purpose of this program is to promote evidence-based after-school programs for robotics education and competition, to motivate students to pursue education and career opportunities in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics while building critical thinking skills and real-world related skills. We currently have a district-wide First Tech Challenge Robotics team. This team was out competing over the weekend. Ms. Jones, where did the team compete this weekend?
Smithfield-Selma High School.
Smithfield-Selma High School, out there competing. We're so proud of our kids and our teachers who are out there traveling on the weekends, having our kids compete in the robotics competitions across the state. But this grant will enable that to continue and to expand. So we're so proud of that. We want to recognize one of our outstanding teachers who's been named Outstanding Young Educator for North Carolina. When the NCASCD called the name of the winner of the 2024 Outstanding Young Educator Award at their annual state conference Friday afternoon, they called the name of our own Belinda McGinnis, a math teacher and digital learning specialist at Lenoir County Early College High School. The NCASCD, or North Carolina Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development, presents this Outstanding Young Educator Award to an educational professional 40 years of age or younger, that cuts some of us out, who demonstrates exemplary commitment to an exceptional contribution to the teaching profession. Ms. McGinnis, certainly, anybody who knows her knows that she well exemplifies this. She's an outstanding teacher. Everybody who knows Ms. McGinnis loves her. She's just totally devoted to the kids of early college and just does an amazing job. She is their current Teacher of the Year for Lenoir County Early College High School, an honor that she also won in 2013 and 2017, three-time TOY for the school. She was chosen as the North Carolina Council of Teachers of Mathematics Outstanding Secondary Mathematics Teacher for 2021 school year. Congratulations to Ms. Belinda McGinnis for adding the State Outstanding Young Educator Award to her list of recognitions. And her principal, Mr. Saint Man, went over to that conference, as did Ms. Herring and I, and we helped her to celebrate that. She was recognized, and people from all over the state were there from school systems, from the 114 other school systems, and we were so proud of Ms. McGinnis. She does a great job every day. I'd like for Ms. McGinnis and her principal, Mr. Saint Man, to come forward and let us celebrate her. Ms. McGinnis, congratulations again. And I know you love talking before a group of people. You do such a great job with the kids. What does this award mean? Did this award mean to you?
This means a great deal to me. First off, I just want to say that I love working for Lenoir County Public Schools, the leadership here. I know that you guys value students because you put your value in teachers. I always feel welcome to the conversation and heard within the conversation. So I'm very thankful to the leadership of Lenoir County Public Schools. Also thankful to the people that I work with at Lenoir County Early College High School. I know I'm working among the best, so I'm very blessed to be in the position that I am. And I do want to say thank you to my kids, teachers' kids. Sometimes they have to share us with lots of people. So I'm thankful for their great graciousness and patience with me.
So let's have them stand too, give them a round of applause. My kids understand. All right. E.B. Frink Middle School social studies teacher, Mr. Chadwick Stokes, is one of 17 educators from across the state in a highly selective fellowship program designed to enhance the teaching of issues related to and emanating from the nation's founding. As members of this inaugural cohort of America 250 Freedom Fellows, Mr. Stokes and his colleagues will take part in unique professional development initiatives connected to the state's America 250 programming, aligned with the national initiative for marking the approaching 250th anniversary in 2026 of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. The 6-month fellowship will take 17 educators to North Carolina historic sites around the state, provide them with virtual learning opportunities to enhance their teaching practices, and lay the groundwork for the networking among these fellows, as well as with historians, scholars, and authors who will work with the program. Mr. Stokes is also the North Carolina representative in the competition for a national award from the Society of the Sons of the American Revolution. Congratulations to Mr. Stokes for his numerous achievements. Mr. Stokes? When will you find out about the national award?
Sometime in the spring.
Okay. Congratulations to you, sir.
Thank you.
You want to share briefly what this award is?
Sure. This is pretty awesome to represent Montgomery County. It's part of this fellowship and another fellowship as well, National History Day. And really, the secret is just making kids engage in history and see how it's very interactive, and the rest is good. So,
Dr. Moon, I was looking around for you and here's that to you. Come on over here, sir.
when you have support like Dr. Moon, it makes my job much easier.
Spelling champions from our elementary and middle schools squared off Thursday night for the annual LCPS Spelling Bee. Congratulations to all of them for qualifying for the district event, and extra congratulations to our winners: Nikki Bellamy of Whittington Middle School, first place; Malachi Garner of Northeast Elementary, first runner-up; and Ashlyn Santos Mayan of Northwest Elementary School, second runner-up. So if they would come forward, please. Nikki Bellamy, Malachi Garner, and Ashlyn Santos Mayan. Okay. Guys, while I'm getting this certificate, what was the most difficult part of it? Because I'm not supposed to tell this, I promised him I would, but my colleague over here, Mr. Harvey, I think was calling those words out, and he was telling me, I don't think he knew some of them himself. Probably. Just between us, don't tell anybody. Okay, Nikki. Congratulations. Proud of you. Great. Congratulations. Proud of you. What was the hardest word? That last one? Anybody? What was the hardest word?
You got them all right?
What was it?
Right. Elocution was the.
Elocution. Can you believe he hit these guys with that word? All right, let's take it. We're proud of you guys.
Keep coming. Amen. Okay, on three. 1, 2, 1 more. Smile. 1. Thank you.
Great job, guys. The North Carolina School Boards Association Academy for School Boardsmanship would like to honor 2 of our board members for successful completion of school board member training during the 22-23 academy year. Mr. Elijah Woods, a certificate of achievement, and Mr. W.D. Anderson, an award of excellence. certificates for these board members? She was, congratulations. Anderson, congratulations. We might not have had that on the original track. Jesse had, it was Jesse. I didn't-
Sneaky.
Members of the class of 2024 have already distinguished themselves in competition for top merit scholarships, with finalists and semifinalists named from 4 of our high schools. From North Lenore High School are Caroline Lafone, and we'll have these students. Many of them are on a Junior Leadership Lenore trip. In fact, most of them are on a Junior Leadership Lenore trip from our 3 traditional high schools, plus Early College High School, and some other schools in the county. And they're in Florida with that trip right now, so we'll have them at our next month meeting to honor them. But they are Caroline Lafone, finalist for the Park Scholarship at NC State University. Adamari Gaona, also finalist for the Park Scholarship and a finalist for the Chancellor Scholarship to Appalachian State University. Ahmad Zayad, a finalist for the Goodnight Scholarship to NC State, and already the winner of a Magnolia Scholarship to Wake Forest University. That is a full scholarship to Wake Forest. That's currently valued at $96,300 per year at Wake. Chase Sutton was named a semifinalist for the Park Scholarship at NC State University, and Austin Williams was named semifinalist for the Moorhead Kane Scholarship to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. From Kinston High School, Cam Bradshaw and Javier Grady, both named finalists for the Dowdy Scholarship to North Carolina A&T State University. From Lenore County Early College High School, Shemaiah Hall, a finalist for the Cheatham White Scholarship, the Dowdy, and the February 1 scholarships to North Carolina A&T. And from South Lenore High School, Dakota Tyndall is a finalist for the J.A. Campbell Scholarship at Campbell University. Congratulations, and these are just the ones that we've heard about so far. They continue to come. So proud of our kids. Congratulations to these seniors for achieving this milestone. So we've already mentioned this, so I'll just summarize, but on Friday, February 3rd, the LCPS robotics team, Low Battery, that was a cool, catchy name, Low Battery. They almost couldn't get into the competition this year. They went to the regional competition last year, but the robot, the measurements on the robot, they're very specific, and they didn't meet the specifications this year. They got past that with a little bit of doing at the beginning, I was told. A few modifications. But our team ran 5 rounds of competition and finished in 9th place out of 24 teams, including teams from public schools, private schools, and community organizations. Although we didn't qualify for state competition this year, our team, called Low Battery, is excited for the next season to begin. The team will use grant funding from the newly acquired Competitive Robotics Grant to increase and accelerate the growth of this program. All students in grades 7 through 12 are invited to be a part of our competitive FTC robotics team. Mr. Chairman, that concludes my presentation.
Any questions for Mr. Williams? Any comments? All right, thank you, Mr. Williams, for those announcements. Still more examples of the amazing things that are happening in Lenore County Public Schools. So we do have one person who has signed up for public comment. Let me make sure. Is this Perry Jarrell? Is that correct? Jarrell?
Supposed to do what now?
He decided to be president.
So we give people an opportunity at the meeting to make public comments if they would like. This particular sign-up sheet was for that.
Oh, I didn't realize.
He's exactly on point. For every single meeting we have in the school system, for documentation purposes, we have a sign-in sheet. That is perfect. I love that. That's good.
Okay.
I didn't read the heading for it. I just followed the sign.
That's not a problem at all.
That's all right. If you would like to make a public comment, you still have that opportunity. If you'd like to. Okay, all right. Thank you.
That's all.
Okay, so we will now move to the presentation portion of the agenda. Chair recognizes Mrs. Melissa Lynch to present a digital learning showcase.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and board members. I'm pleased tonight to have Rochelle Middle School with us. Representing Rochelle is our digital learning specialist, Ms. Christian Dawson Chadwick, and I'll have her introduce her awesome students and teachers that are here as well.
Good evening. I'm Christian Dawson Chadwick, DLS at Rochelle Middle School. Tonight I have with me Serenity Ray, 8th grade student from Ms. Edmondson's class, Saquon Jones, 6th grade student from Ms. Blunt's class, Sakaya Cox, 6th grade student from Ms. Blunt's class, Kayla Blunt, 6th grade math teacher. On January 18th and 19th, Rochelle had the privilege to have Apple specialist Nancy Kaczynski and her supervisor Dan with us. We had a busy but very informative 2 days filled with tons of new learning experiences. The first day, each staff member received training on apps and updates. Staff members were able to co-plan with the Apple specialist in preparation for their co-teaching sessions. On the second day, Nancy was able to facilitate and co-teach in 7 classrooms. She was able to get into each grade level, self-contained, and exploratory classrooms for a day of engaging instruction. Tonight, we will show some of what we learned during our experiences. Now I have Serenity Ray. She is from Ms. Edmondson's multi-grade level classroom. Serenity and her classmates were working on research skills and wanted to create a final project. They used iMovie, Apple Pencils, and the green screen media to create a movie trailer about Harriet Tubman. Serenity is going to tell you about her experience. If you talk, they can hear you. Go ahead. Tell them about what you did in class, about making your iMovie. About making your iMovie.
We use photos, add text, add music,
and now we're going to play Serenity's movie.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can, when I can, when I can for my people. When the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me together. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine.
Now we have Ms. Blunt, Saquon, and Sakai to tell about their experiences.
Oh, she says forget
So we use our Apple Pens and they're fun. And when we use our Apple Pens, it's like it's good because we don't have to use our pencils. But at the same time, like I like writing too. So yeah.
I like that I can use my actual handwriting while writing on the tablet, and that it's easier to write with.
Okay, so I was excited that Miss Nancy came to visit my classroom because when we had the PD for the teachers, I was excited for Miss Nancy to come in my classroom because when we had the PD for the teachers, like she really opened my eyes up on how to use certain apps on my iPad and how to just set up Apple Classroom and how to just make sure I can monitor my students' work better. And it's like, I don't have to go through all these links and stuff. I can just airdrop it straight to them if we're on the same Wi-Fi, and it was quick and it was easy. And they get to see like in real time how to work it out. How if I plug in these two numbers, it'll automatically graph my point for me. So I just like that she came in and showed them because we were just using notes and that was working for us. But with this numbers apps, we was able to make a grid and a table, and they were able to, you know, solve for area and perimeter and distance on the coordinate plane.
All right, so let's watch Ms. Blunt's class.
Hey, come learn with me today about distance and polygons.
They never dare like me.
So now you find the perimeter of 18 plus 14 equals 32. Solve for area 9 times 7 equals 63.
Okay, are there any questions for Mrs. Lynch or Mrs. Dawson Chadwick? I don't think Ms. Blunt was here. Mrs. Edmondson? Anybody have any questions? Any comments?
Great job.
So, thank you, Mrs. Lynch, Mrs. Dawson Chadwick, Mrs. Blunt, Ms. Edmondson, Sakaya, Saquanta, and Serenity, and all the students that were involved in the making of the video. We thank you.
Great job, guys.
Yeah, great job. I again like to say, you know, this is just more examples of how technology is helping our students to be successful. Our chair recognizes Mrs. Francis Herring to present a preview of the activities of celebration planned in Lenore County Public Schools in recognition of National Black History Month.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. Good evening. I will present a small preview of the events and projects planned in our schools for Black History Month. Our pre-K students will explore the culture, the music, and the stories related to famous African Americans. Continue Savannah is planning a STEM Carnival and Hall of Fame walk to celebrate African Americans in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and math. Lenore County Learning Academy is planning a full month of activities around the theme, the past, the present, and the future. Northwest Elementary will celebrate Black History Month with a Spirit Week. Students will do research projects, including digital biographies, keynote presentations, and mock interviews. Woodington Middle School will complete classroom projects on influential African Americans, and the projects will be displayed in the media center, and the students will present their projects to each other. Southwood Elementary is creating a walking museum in the gym to take place February 29th, featuring famous and influential African Americans. Parents will also be invited to walk through the museum too. And you all, I'm sure, are also invited February 29th. We want to thank again the local Lambda Pi chapter of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated for sponsoring a writing contest for our students so they can celebrate the excellent service and growth of Black North Carolinians. We can't wait to get the student submissions. And this is a picture of our students from last year who won, and it's big cash prizes, so I'm just saying, it's lots of fun and it's lots of good writing. And another peek into high school, Kinston High School has a jam-packed month of celebration ranging from daily trivia questions to embracing the theme African Americans and the Arts, chosen by the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. Students and staff will bring awareness, unity, and reflection through discussion topics and writing contests. I want to thank you for your time, and this does conclude my report, but I will share with you in March all the great exploration and learning and celebrations that are going to occur in the month of February. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions from Mrs. Herring? Any comments? Thank you, Mrs. Herring, and we do look forward to seeing the celebrations in our schools during the month of February. Chair recognizes Mrs. Amy Jones to present Career and Technical Education Showcase.
You need to hijack me, Ms. Jones.
I'm doing my best.
Okay.
All right, well, good evening, and thank you all for the opportunity to celebrate Career and Technical Education Month with you this evening. My name is Amy Jones. I'm the CTE Director for Lenoir County Schools, and I have with me Mrs. Brittany Harrison, our Career Development Coordinator for Lenoir County Schools, and Gina Cousins, our Curriculum and Instructional Management Coordinator. We also have with us students, parents, and teachers and principals to help us celebrate CTE Month this year. The CTE department is excited to share more information about our programs and opportunities that CTE provides students to help prepare them for a career. Here's a little CTE history. Career and Technical Education was funded under the Smith-Hughes Education Act of 1917. Now called Perkins, this federal funding, in addition to state and local funding, provides the resources needed to run a high-quality CTE program. This is just a brief overview of a few things that CTE offers. We run programs in 6th through 12th grades. Our district offers 21 career pathways. We have a strong career and college partnership with Lenoir Community College. Over 2,000 of our students are involved each year in CTE coursework in 6th through 12th grades. We have work-based learning opportunities, including internships and paid youth apprenticeships, and our students are proud to earn industry-recognized credentials. Ms. Emerson? Oh, okay, that's fine.
Okay, so I just want to share with you a little bit about the the elementary schools. They have visited the high school CTE classrooms in the last week or two, and we did 5th grade as part of our overall career awareness continuum. So my son is in the picture on the right. He's a 5th grader at LaGrange Elementary, and he said this was his favorite field trip of all time. Who knew, to the high school. But use the wood burning pens to sort of write his name in a little bookmark. So the teachers did a great job at really engaging the students in fun activities that they actually do with their students in the high school classroom. So it gets them excited and look forward to the future. Another thing we're excited about is we have a partnership with Lenore Community College, and our 8th graders last semester they built a boat using 3D printers and other things, and then they go and race them together with the other middle schools to see who wins. So the STEM classes at each of the middle schools worked together, and then they raced them against the other middle schools to see who will win. So
And who was the winner?
Very fun.
Who was the champion this fall?
I don't remember.
Rochelle Middle School.
Oh, that's right. It was Rochelle. It was Maddie Sowers. That's right.
That's right.
And they've got one coming up in the spring that they're working on with Derby race cars.
So we're really excited about that. We'll let you know the date. You're all invited to attend. It's a really fun event. And we're very grateful to Lenore Community College for that partnership. Lenore County Public Schools offers CTE programming in every middle school, traditional high school, and at the Learning Academy. Our programs include all of those listed above, which you'll also find in the brochure that you received this evening. This brochure is being given to our 8th grade students and parents so that they will have a good idea of what is available to them as they transition to the high school. We're very pleased to be able to offer all of these pathways to our students. All right, now for the best part of the evening. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Kinston High School. I'd like to introduce Mr. Foray, our carpentry teacher, and Mr. Benson, our masonry teacher, and their carpentry and masonry students, Fraser Williams, Makai Moore, Jakevian Hassel from Kinston High School, who will share their experiences with you. And Jakevian was on our robotics team this weekend, too.
Good job.
Woohoo! All right.
What did you have to do to that robot, Jakevian, to get it approved?
We had to take about one motor off and replace it, and then it was actually able to move, and the kids were able to compete, and that was their
So,
goal. Was just to be
Mr.
able to
Foray,
go.
they told me that you have a new nickname, MacGyver, because you taped something together at the last minute.
I was unaware of that, but maybe
They said you were the guy.
My name is Jakevian Hassel. I'm a sophomore at Kinston High School. And career and technical education programs like construction and masonry have always offered great value to both schools and students. Shop class and other courses that focus on trade or technical skills were once a staple in American education, but over the years we have seen many of these taken out of the schools. Now, however, CTE is growing in demand from students, parents, industry, and government. 58% of high school scholars believe a skills-based education makes sense in today's world. Why should we have construction and masonry classes in high school?
My name is Makai Moore, and I'm a sophomore at Kinston High School. Educators are constantly seeking ways to engage students and prepare them for the real world. By offering these courses in high school, students are provided with unique learning experiences that go beyond traditional classroom settings. These courses offer hands-on learning opportunities that actively involve students in practical projects. These courses often involve designing, planning, and building structures.
My name is Fraser Williams. I am a junior at Kinston High School. Through hands-on activities, students learn how to safely operate tools and equipment, read blueprints, and execute projects. These skills not only enhance their technical skills, but also instill a sense of pride and accomplishment in their ability to create something tangible. In addition to technical skills, construction courses emphasize essential employability skills such as teamwork, communication, and problem solving. Students work together on projects, learning to delegate tasks, manage resources, and effectively communicate their ideas. These skills are invaluable in any career path and can contribute to students' personal and professional growth. One of the key advantages of offering construction courses is the opportunity to establish meaningful connections with local industry. By partnering with construction companies and contractors in your area, you can bridge the gap between education and real-world applications. The National Center of Construction Education and Research, NCCER, offers an easy-to-implement and is a nationally recognized program that meets Perkins funding and requirements. Through the NCCER High School Builder Program, schools can provide a construction program with industry-recognized credentials using NCCER's curriculum and resources. More than 2,000 secondary schools already uses NCCER across the United States. NCCER can help your school unlock all opportunities that trade education that has to offer. Now we are working on OSHA 10-hour construction site. Then we are laying bricks weekly. Next, we are building a foundation for our sheds on our campus.
Thank you, gentlemen. They're saying that the demand for these jobs, and talking with Ms. Jones, and we're on the Manufacturers Association committee, and one of the things that manufacturers say and other business owners say in the area of masonry, carpentry, construction, electrical, plumbing, HVAC, they're saying to us, we just don't have enough people to do the work. So the demand is there, the need is there, and our programs are seeking to meet that demand with a highly qualified workforce of our young people, and I couldn't be more proud of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Kinston High School. We're so tickled because those programs have been restarted after a little bit of an absence, and they have been, classes are full, there's a good demand for them, and what great skills the students are learning. At this time, I'd like to introduce our students from North Lenore High School, Jaleria Dove, Ramaya Lee, their teacher, Mrs. Samantha Newcomb, and they're going to speak to you about health science.
Good evening, I'm Samantha Newcomb, the health science teacher at North Lenore. I teach health science 2 and nursing fundamentals. These two young ladies are two of my nursing fundamental students, Jaleria Dove and Ramaya Lee.
Okay, so the pictures that's on the screen are us practicing our skills that we have to learn. We have to learn a total of 65 skills by the end of the class period, so we can get our CNAs. So as you see in the first picture at the top corner, she's getting her blood pressure taken, and the one beside that is her dressed in the PPE outfit, and the one down is moving the patient if they were lying down, like they had to be moved in bed. And the one beside it is the picture of how each bed looks, because there are different beds for all of us to work on, like a patient on. And the one in the corner is me being restrained like I was a patient, and we're putting the restraints on me if I had to be restrained for some reason.
You're good.
Okay, so this class starts out with, you have to start with Health Science 1 and then build yourself up to Health Science 3 honors. And then once you become a senior for that second semester, you have to take nursing fundamentals for 2 class periods. And we're also doing our clinicals at UNC.
And they'll have to do 40-hour clinicals at UNC Lenore to be able to sit for the state board exam.
Thank you. And those students, we're very proud of them. They will earn their Nurse Aid 1 certification, which will allow them to get a job straight out of high school or take that right on to nursing school, which moves them up on the ladder for admission.
And for the, I think 3 or 4 of the last 5 consecutive years, 4 out of the last 5 years, both Spirit and Crown have hired every welder that we put out there on pre-apprenticeship and apprenticeship. They've hired every single one of them or offered jobs to them. And teaching our kids to weld, and some of them have gone through with the apprentice welder track and gone through and become master welders. And those are not just, marketable skills. That it is that, but those are career pathways open to our kids. We're very proud of that.
And finally, from South Lenoir tonight, we are pleased to have with us Zolma Lopez, Caden Taylor, Connor Heath, Christian Arnett, and Connor Rowand, with their teacher, Mrs. Melanie Smith, who's going to speak to you about her unique classroom in business management. You want me to read the slides, or you have it? Okay.
So we are Ms. Smith's Business 2 class from last semester, and we're essentially just going to explain how we did our classroom system, because I think it was particularly effective to keep us focused and engaged, and it fostered a sense of community in my eyes at least, too. So we think it could be beneficial with wider usage.
In Ms. Smith's class, she basically transformed her class into a office environment. That way we could go and experience the real business reality every day. And she essentially turned us into her employees.
That's right. At the beginning of the year, we received a new hire package, as Christian has here. It included an offer letter, job description, as well as benefits paperwork. We got a paper that showed us the rules and procedures and what would happen if we did not follow those rules and procedures as well.
Thank you.
A way it was like a business is every morning we would come in, clock in for work, we would turn on our cell phones, we had a morning meeting, then we started our lesson or our work for the day, and after our work was finished, we would clock out and go to our next class.
Did you say you're turning your cell phone?
Yes, of course, every day.
In the pocket.
I didn't miss it?
Never.
Cell phone jail.
That's the payroll.
Each month, we receive a paycheck for our number of hours worked. And she would even deduct taxes from the paycheck.
Real world. Real world.
After earning a few paychecks, we would have enough money saved up that we could buy class rewards, like dropping a classroom grade or using our notes on a test.
Being that we were in business management too, we had to take part in a project for our honors portfolio, which was the coffee shop. In this portfolio, we learned the strategy, the ins and outs of what it is to own a business, planning ahead, and the overall information that we would not be aware of as a student and teenager at our age. We got to see what it's like to own our business, creating branding, making our own logos for our business, and putting our ideas for the people and managing people at the same time.
Tying into that coffee shop theme for our honors portfolio, we had an actual coffee machine in the corner of the room with K-cup pods that we could use, pictured here, have a nice cup of coffee at the start of our day. And we were the only class that was actually legitimately allowed to use the coffee machine. So it was a nice benefit for getting to level 2.
This being, since we all took part of the Business Management 2 class, we were given the opportunity to enter the internship program. This was where we would be able to exercise the qualities and the skills we've developed with the years of going to Ms. Smith's business class. I got to be in the internship when I worked for Curtis Construction in Kingston, North Carolina's main office. This really gave me, and she gave me the skills that I needed to even go into that interview and be prepared. She gave me the skills I needed to work at that job. Now I have more qualities that I could get from beyond Ms. Smith's classroom, which is marketing, making my own flyers. I know how to file, I know how to fill out a paycheck now, and I just know more elements that I could not get sitting in her classroom. And I'm thankful for Ms. Brittany Harris and Ms. Smith for giving me that opportunity and time and being guided with it.
And I just want to add, this is a group of phenomenal students behind me. They scored excellent on their state exams. Collectively, my Business 2 class scored, I think it was about an 85. It was high. It was very high. But they have all taken to the classroom setting very well. They loved being able to own their own coffee shop. We took a classroom trip to Middle Grounds Coffee to see how she put together her coffee shop, and she gave us the ins and the outs of the daily management. So it kind of tied it all together. But when they start out and they got their new hire packet, they were so excited, and I would dare say most every student behind me still has their new hire package at home. They kept their personnel file. So, but I'm very proud of them.
And I got to see the need that there is for bilingual people. Being that I am Mexican American, I've heard a lot in my life, okay, well, you know 2 languages, it's going to be easy for you. But I don't know where specifically or when that time will come. But in this internship program, I got to be able to see the need that there actually is, and being bilingual and having the privilege of speaking 2 languages and being able to use it in a facility for a business, just being a 17-year-old and not. People were kind of surprised asking me that I worked there instead of saying, oh yeah, I work at flipping burgers at McDonald's or something like that. So it's a really good opportunity, and there should be more internship programs for students, and this will really, you'll be surprised how many students don't know what to wear to an interview. So the guidance is needed, and we all thank Ms. Smith because we all see her as a bigger mother and our boss in real life.
Well, Ms. Smith, thank you for what you're doing with the kids. Outstanding job, guys. I was going to ask the students what their biggest revelation was about the simulation, but I think you referenced that it was the great heartbreak that we as all adults coming into our first paycheck get, that we realize that gross amount is not what we actually take home. So, but what other things surprised you? What was what you thought it would be, or maybe not what you thought it would be?
Well, I think for me specifically, it was more so of, I can't answer the question on the packet on what I would do, but I don't have the experience. So being able to have the experience and exercise what I'm being questioned on really opened my eyes of being able to see what it is in the real world.
And Zoma did have to compete to win the internship. So she was interviewed multiple times, and so she had to practice and prepare, and it was a real job. So it was she actually got paid for it too. So, and they took taxes out.
They did take taxes out.
Before business management, or even just the first class, I had a job flipping burgers, thank you so much. I had a job flipping burgers, and I remember how stressful that interview was, and it was pretty hard to go into, and I said a lot, couldn't really get my words out, and they were all in a jumble. After business management, I have taken an interview since then, and it went exceptionally well.
Okay. Good job.
Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Great job, guys.
I cannot top that, but I will share just a few more highlights with you.
Miss Amy, one
yes,
thing
sir.
for you. I think we probably have a couple of board members that probably would like to go to that coffee shop.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I'll see you in the morning.
They have a couple of board members who would like to visit your coffee shop.
Anytime we will start you from our coffee shop in class.
I usually drop off about 7:40.
We might do curbside for you. We'll see.
I'll take what I can.
Thank you to all of our teachers and students for sharing the many of the valuable career building programs offered through our CTE program. I'd just like to share a few of our CTE highlights with you. Did you know that 96% of students who complete a CTE pathway graduate from high school with their 4-year cohort? So we like to get them into CTE because we can keep them engaged in high school. Our youth apprenticeship and internship program continues to be successful. The youth apprenticeship program at Crown Equipment Corporation is one that is held up across the state as a model for other apprenticeship programs. This fall, we partnered with our Chamber of Commerce to send students to the Fall Career Fair. We have our Regional Industrial Manufacturing Expo coming up in April, and you will all be invited to that. And our elementary students will be enjoying Careers on Wheels very soon. Our students are taking field trips and are engaging with the business community to find out more about potential careers. And as mentioned earlier, we won 2 major grants from the state, the Home Builders Grant and the CTE Modernization Grant. CTE teachers have been the recipients of multiple grants from Bright Ideas and the Lenore County Education Foundation to fund innovative programs in their classrooms. Students in middle and high school are busy completing their career development plans, and our student career and technical education student organizations are expanding. Our CTSOs include FBLA, HOSA, DECA, FFA, TSA, FCCLA, and now we have National Technical Honor Society to honor our students that are performing well academically and our career and technical education students. Not only are these clubs completing service projects, but our students are winning at the regional, state, and national levels. We continue to increase our student credential attainment with students earning food handler certifications, OSHA 10-hour certifications, NIMS, DHS, and FEMA certifications, NCCER, First Aid, Stop the Bleed, AutoCAD, Nurse Aid 1, and many more, really too many to name tonight. But they are doing a phenomenal job of earning their credentials. And these are just a few highlights for us to enjoy. These are a couple of the field trips we took. We went to Horticulture 2 Landscaping, went to the Wood Duck Stadium to learn about turf grass management. Simply Natural is one of our most popular and most requested field trips, so they go often. These are just some pictures from the Rhyme Expo, and that is a huge endeavor with over 300 of our students participating, but we invite multiple counties to engage with our local industry and manufacturers as well. Zaire Garner was one of our Crown apprentices who was offered employment with Crown, but he chose to go to NC State, which is awesome, a good night scholar. But Crown has told him that anytime he comes back to Lenore County, they will continue to employ him and will employ him upon graduation if he chooses to do so. Rachel Noble, first
and we'll
place.
continue that. They've pledged to, as long as he continues to come back and be employed with them and meet performance metrics, to continue to fund his educational endeavors straight through graduate training in engineering and a master's of engineering. So really a career and not a job.
Rachel Noble, a first place winner at the Creed speaking competition at the National FFA Convention in Indianapolis, and this year placed silver in the National Prepared Public Speaking. Hannibal Heath and Sydney Wichard of North Lenore High School won first place at the NC State Convention, FFA. Again, about our apprenticeships, you can see the 3 young men at the front. That was after they had received their employment offer from Crown, not even 2 weeks after their graduation from high school. Other things that we have done, we're so grateful to Mr. Holmes for the publicity he gives us. The first picture slide was one of the billboards that is currently up to celebrate CTE month. We have done some of the segments that focus on apprenticeships and focus on CCP that can be seen on our Access channel. And then this is just a great celebration of Woodington Middle School, May of 2023. You can see they went to the Coastal Plains Chicken Show, and they placed first, second, and third in multiple categories. So we're just really proud of all of our students and just want to highlight them. This is our FCCLA group from North Lenore High School. They went to National Convention over the summer, and they placed in silver medal. Camila Cisneros Perez is currently applying for a national scholarship so she can attend the National Convention again. And I just want to say thank you. Our school board is so supportive of our CTE programs here in Lenore County, and we are very appreciative of that. As you can see, our program is very active and is making a difference in the lives of our students. We are making a strong impact on our students and continue to strive to meet the Lenore County Public Schools goal of career and college readiness for all students. And I just want to thank you for your time this evening. I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions for Mrs. Jones or any of the teachers, any of the staff, any of the students that are here? Any questions? Any comments?
Great job.
Thank you.
Program.
Thank
So,
you.
thank you, Mrs. Jones, and to all the teachers, all the staff, all the students. Thank you for an outstanding job. And this just shows the board examples of how career and technical education is allowing our students to be successful.
Thank you.
And we thank you for that.
Thank you. I appreciate you all.
Great job, guys.
All right. Chair recognizes Mrs. Frances Herring and Ms. Crystal Carlisle to present a celebration of science program and the science fair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Carlisle to present to you the wonderful science showcase that we had just a few weeks ago.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Oh, sorry for that. Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the board. It's my pleasure tonight to share highlights with you from our recent Celebration of Science Fair event. Each year, Lenoir County Public Schools kicks off our Science Fair season at the end of September. Schools create a campaign to share information with students in grades 3 through 12 who wish to participate. They receive a packet of information meant to ignite their curiosity and urge them to explore a topic from the provided choice board or from their own interest or experiences. It's important for our students to participate in the Science Fair each year because there are many benefits according to the North Carolina Science and Engineering Fair website, including building self-confidence, improving visual and spatial thinking skills, and promoting a project-based inquiry mode of learning. Once our students have their topics approved by their school science fair coach, they have several weeks from October to December to complete the required components. Each school then holds their own science fair and selects their winning projects. Elementary schools choose 3 top projects, while middle and high school choose their top project from each of 8 categories as identified by the North Carolina Science and Engineering Fair. As you see from the screenshot of Moss Hill's Facebook page, our schools often recognize their science fair winners on their social media pages at the conclusion of their school fair. The next step for our school science fair winners is to participate in our Celebration of Science District Showcase. This day-long event was held recently on January 23rd at the Kinston Performing Arts Center. Students from schools across every grade span and every attendance zone participated this year. In total, we recognized 94 students at our event. We were very excited to recognize that 24 of those same students had been school-level winners previously and were attending our district showcase for at least the second time in the last 3 years. The celebration event began around 9:30 in the morning when our students arrived at the Performing Arts Center with their science fair project for a full day of all things science. This year there was a wide variety of topics, including how does the color of light affect plant growth? Would you drink that? A project about water purity. Keeping it fresh, a project about the best way to store your avocados. Will eggs sink or float in a variety of household liquids? And measuring the effect of music on memory from students as shown here at Kinston High School. During the day, students practice public speaking skills. Seen in the pictures on this slide are high school students work with Miss Amy Jones to review the basics of public speaking, such as establishing good eye contact, maintaining good posture, and using a strong and confident voice. Ms. Stephanie Harrell is seen here working with a group of students from Woodington Middle School, while Ms. Stacy Colley is shown working with a group of elementary students, again, all teaching and reminding them of good public speaking skills. After reviewing those skills, our students worked in small groups to present their projects and get feedback from peers and from LCPS staff. A key component of success at the regional and state level is students being able to discuss their projects with judges. Because we want to give them the opportunity to practice presenting before those next level competitions, the district showcase event serves as an important step in building confidence for these students. In the center picture, a team of students from Frink Middle School is practicing presentation skills with their science fair project, Caffeine Consequences, while the young man in the upper right picture is sharing what he learned when he created a potato battery. As you can imagine, the practice presentations were hard work for students and also a bit nerve-wracking, as public speaking sometimes can be. So we wanted students to have some fun and to see science in action.
Moorhead Planetarium Science on Stage show treated our students and science fair coaches to a live show featuring science experiments with force and motion as well as with chemical reactions. Pictured here is our scientist for the day, Tara, who is demonstrating how much weight a balloon can hold when placed on a board of nails. She also showed us how to make elephant toothpaste. The small explosion pictured to the right was the result of a chemical reaction of hydrogen peroxide, yeast, food coloring, and warm water. Not to worry though, the experiment was safely conducted and the result was a crowd pleaser for all spectators of all ages. After a full day of science, students, parents, and a community were invited back to the Performing Arts Center for our evening event. The main objectives for the evening included students showcasing their projects for the community, practicing public speaking skills that we had reviewed earlier in the day, and answering questions about their research. But most importantly, they also were able to articulate their learning. Studies show that the highest level of learning takes place when we teach others about what we have learned. In these pictures from the evening, you'll notice students from elementary, middle, and high schools interacting with parents, principals, and Mr. Williams, our superintendent, who circulated around and spoke with students about their science fair projects. Following the showcase, everyone returned to the auditorium and individual students were recognized for their presentation and achievement. Pictured here are just 5 of the more than 90 students whose name was called to come on stage, receive a certificate, and have their picture taken. Tucker Harris, a 5th grader from Moss Hill, who's pictured in the second picture, has represented his school for 3 years in a row as a school winner. Recognizing each of these students was truly a highlight of the evening and was a perfect ending to a day filled with science. Next up for these students will be participation in the Region 1 North Carolina Science and Engineering Fair at East Carolina University on Saturday, February 24th. We are excited about these students and their projects, and we truly believe they will represent LCPS very well. Last year, we had 17 projects that were recognized at the Regional Science Fair and were selected to advance to the state competition. The projects that do advance from ECU this year will compete on Saturday, March 23rd at the state level science fair hosted by NC State University. At each of these fairs, our students get to spend the day on a college campus, interact with judges who are scientists in the field, and further build their own confidence and competence as a scientist. As I hope you have seen in these highlights, our students are emerging scientists who have very bright futures ahead in whatever field of study they choose. These science fair projects are only the beginning, and we wish them the very best of luck in the regional and state level science fairs. In closing, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Mrs. Carlisle? Any comments? Okay, thank you, Mrs. Herring. That's Mrs. Carlisle. We do look forward to the science projects and the science fair. Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey to present an update on the North Carolina Department of Public Instruction Safety Grant.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board members. It will be hard to follow those outstanding CTE students and the achievements of our science fair winners, but I am bearing gifts. At a previous board meeting, I reminded the board that we had indeed applied for the 2023-24 school safety grant via the Center for Safer Schools. We are very excited to announce that LCPS has received $300,000 to assist our efforts, specifically regarding students in crisis. We have been in communication with the center to ask for flexibility to use a portion of those funds to purchase equipment to enhance our already purchased safety efforts as well. As you may recall, we are in our second year of the School Resource Officer Grant funding. We will reapply for funding this fall after the state releases its budget and the application. We are certainly grateful for the Department of Public Instruction and the Center for Safer Schools for their commitment to providing additional resources to better serve all of the stakeholders from Lenore County. I entertain any questions that you may have.
Any questions for Mr. Harvey? Any comments? Okay, thank you, Mr. Harvey, for the update, and this is certainly the much needed funding for safety in our schools. Chair recognizes Mr. Nick Harvey again to present the January 2024 financial report.
Yeah.
Man of all hats.
That's right. All right. The January financial report summarizes budget and year-to-date activity for all Lenore County Board of Education funds as of January 31st, 2024. Additionally, the report presents the local current expense fund balance as of January 31st, 2024.
Are you answering a question?
I'll try.
So are there any questions for Mr.
And Ms.
Harvey?
Helen Hooker, our interim finance director, is at the NC ASBO conference, and they were having some required training for new finance directors, so we sent her to that, and she left her materials with Mr. Harvey to present.
All right, Mr. Smith?
Yeah, you know I would have one, didn't you? I asked this to Mr. Williams, I guess. So, I'm looking at the year-to-date revenues.
The fund balance, we expect that to, I'm anticipating this with Trask and Ms. Harvey, I was talking about that this afternoon. We do expect that to normalize.
According to Ms. Hooker, she said it has increased from last month and is expected to continue to normalize in the coming months regarding fund balance.
So have we received that reimbursement from the insurance yet for the bill for South and North?
Part of it,
Not all of it. The smallest part, but not all.
Not all.
We still
How
have
much more we
two
expect
more
to do?
reimbursements to get.
I believe one of them was $300,000.
Mm-hmm.
So approximately.
All right, any other questions, Mr. Harvey? Any comments? All right, thank you, Mr. Harvey, for that report. We will now move to the action portion of the agenda. Chair recognizes Mr. Adam Mitchell to present the contract for professional legal services with Tharrington Smith Law Firm.
Thank you, Chair Hill. Good evening, board members, Mr. Williams. If I may just introduce myself. I know a number of folks up here, but not all of you. Again, my name is Adam Mitchell. I'm with the law firm of Tharrington Smith. We're based in Raleigh. We have about 15 lawyers at Tharrington Smith that just focus on education law, representing public school districts across the state. I've been practicing with the firm for almost 17 years. I've been a partner in our education law section for almost 7 years, and I've had the privilege of working with the Lenore County Schools for a number of years. I can't quite remember how long, but 6, 7, 8, 9 years. In particular, working with Ms. Heath, Ms. Harvey, Mr. Harvey on personnel issues, conferring with Mr. Williams, as the case may be. And so when Carolyn asked if I was willing and able to take over coverage of the meetings, I was really thrilled at the opportunity, one, because I love the system and your staff, and two, I happen to be available on this night. I don't have very many nights that I am available over the course of the month. So I'm very pleased to be here. There's really no change. The relationship is between the school system and the law firm, not any particular individual. In this instance, we're just making this change at this time. The agreement, the only change in the agreement is a $5 rate increase, per hour rate increase starting July 1st, 2024, with an annual $5 increase each year thereafter, which is about a 2% increase, and it's really just designed to help us cover our ever-increasing costs, just like all businesses have increasing costs. So happy to take any questions, but pleased to have the opportunity to continue to work with the system. We've worked with your district for many, many, many years, predating my tenure with the firm.
Yes, Mr. Manager.
Please extend our thanks to Mrs. Murkison for her service.
Yes, sir, I will.
Yes, Mr. Smith?
You said the rate will increase by July 1, 2025?
2024.
Okay, say it's 25 here, so.
So the first increase is July 1, 2024
And then the
to
second one,
235, 225, and 125. And then again, the $5 annual increase starting the year
Again.
after.
Okay, again in 25. Okay.
Correct.
And Tharrington Smith, I do want to point out, they did not, during the entirety of the pandemic, normally rates increase yearly or at least every other year, but they They held those. They did not increase any rates during the pandemic at all, in an effort to help our district and other districts, I think.
We did have one last year though, didn't we?
We did.
Increase last year.
All right, any other questions for Mr. Mitchell? All right, thank you, Mr. Mitchell. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the attorney contract?
Yes, sir. I move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Woods, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Cash. We've got a motion by Mr. Woods and a second by Mrs. Cash to approve the contract for legal services as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. Mr. Mitchell, please notify you affirm this action.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes Mrs. Frances Herring to present the proposed instructional calendar for the 2024-2025 school year.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Uploaded for your convenience are the 3 calendar options that were voted on in December, and I presented at the last board meeting that draft option B was the choice of the district. And I've asked you, you've had the calendar for a month to review and ask and see if there's anything that you have any questions about it, and I respectfully bring it to you tonight as an action item for your approval.
Okay, any questions for Mrs. Herring?
This is option B.
B, yes, sir.
Any other questions? All right, thank you, Mrs. Herring. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the instructional calendar?
Move to approve as presented.
Motion by Mr. Smith. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Cash. I have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mrs. Cash to approve the 2024-2025 school year instructional calendar as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0.
Thank you so much.
Mrs. Herring, please notify the schools and the community of this action.
We'll
Chair recognizes Mrs. Frances Herring again to present an out-of-state field trip request.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. So the band at Kinston High School, Mr. Leonard Palmer, the band director, would like to take the band to perform and compete at Busch Gardens. April 19th to the 21st. They'd like to take a charter bus, and they're very excited. There's 38 students going, and 6 adults. So I respectfully ask your permission for them to travel out of state to the band competition.
All right, are there any questions for Mrs. Herring? All right, thank you, Mrs. Herring. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the field trip request?
Move to approve.
Motion by Mr. Anderson. Is there a second? Second by Dr. Outlaw Starkey. We have a motion by Mr. Anderson and a second by Dr. Outlaw Starkey to approve the Kinston High School out-of-state field trip request as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. Ms. Harris, please notify Kinston High of this action.
I certainly will. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to closed session?
I move that the Lenore County Board of Education enter into closed session under North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11 to prevent the disclosure of confidential personnel files, to consult with the board's attorney in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege, and to consider matters relating to initial employment of an individual employee.
We have a motion by Mr. Wiggins. Is there a second? Second by Mr. Woods. Motion by Mr. Wiggins and a second by Mr. Woods to move to closed session. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. We are now in closed session. Thank you. Okay, Chair recognizes that the Lenore County Board of Education is backing up in session. I will have to recuse myself. I have an immediate family member on the personnel report. Is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to the monthly personnel recommendations?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Mr. Smith.
move to accept the personnel report with the addendum.
Motion by Mr. Smith. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Cash. We have a motion by Mr. Smith and a second by Mrs. Cash to approve the monthly personnel recommendations with the addendum as presented. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries 6-0. Ms. Heath, please notify the employees of this action. With no further business to come before this board, is there a recommendation or motion pertaining to adjournment? Mr. Anderson, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Outlaw Starkey. We have a motion by Mr. Anderson and a second by Dr. Outlaw Starkey to adjourn the February 5th, 2024 regular monthly board meeting. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, chair will call for the vote. All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, like sign. Motion carries 7-0. Meeting is adjourned. Everyone, please stay safe.